Yes.
Baba boy.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Now it says excellent connection. Good. Good. Chris Geiger, you made me laugh very much. A wizard arrives precisely when he means to.
That's right.
Always early, which is not a bad thing.
Always early. Oh, wow. Okay. Let me
How you
see.
doing, Jeff?
Fantastic. I'm about to get the tweet all ready to go. I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I've had a lazy week. Not even a lazy couple of days. And I've been like genuinely, I got like yesterday, today and yesterday were my days off. So I was like, I'm just gonna take this opportunity and do absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I've done exactly that. And
Great.
it feels good.
Good.
Because I know I was, the last, the last few weeks I've been kind of running a little ragged. I've been having to fight people online, not in like the, oh, you're a troll on Twitter, but like, oh, you're an awful person on Twitter thing. And, so it's been taking a mental toll. I'm not going to lie to you. But like now knowing everything's calmed down, it's, and those people don't exist anymore. It's good.
Whoa.
It's good.
Whoa. Don't exist anymore?
Yeah.
Did you take them out?
I handled them.
Dude.
I handle my business.
Dude. Don't mess around with Mr. Badbit over here.
I handle my business.
You may know where he lives to come assassinate him, but try to get to him.
Yeah. Hey, Kyle, can I just say something real fast?
Go for it.
Because we did hurt our friend Sean's feelings.
Time.
Yeah.
Don't say we. Don't drag me into this.
We hurt our friend
Nope.
Sean's feelings. And he's like, I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play the fantasy league because we played it. First off,
I tried to tell you were being a little too hard.
First off, it's a bit. I'm thinking this is like Russell, like, WWF. Remember when the F stands
before
for
the
fuck.
F was in and they didn't take it out.
Before it was E for everybody. It was fuck. World Wrestling Federation,
Yeah.
It had attitude. And I just had a little attitude. And he didn't like it. But it's funny though? When he gets a good score or we get a bad score, he's able to be very salty, but I'm not,
Sure.
He's able to he's able to bring the sass. I'm not though.
Okay.
So this year we brought it.
Uh-huh.
We brought the sass. I brought the sass. Okay. And we played a very smart game, you and I, of like, hey, listen, we're going to say we're not excited for for Super Mario RPG. We're going to say we're not excited for Super Mario Wonder. Right. And we played it well. We played it smart. We got ahead of them. We got those two games. And so I drop a little, a little spicy vid, and it's funny.
Oh, the video's great. The video's great.
Yeah, it's everybody's having fun, Sean. Everybody's having a laugh. I say that I'm having sex with Luke's mom every other day on Twitter. And guys, it's hot, it's raw. All right? Luke's okay with it. I'm just saying that, hey, I'm beating you in a fantasy league, That's it. You gonna get upset at me over a fantasy league?
It's hot, it's raw. Don't ever say that again.
About the passion that is Mrs. Lore? I mean, what's her maiden name?
You should
Rosalinda?
Rosalinda. Katie, really quick, stop by to say hello before she goes to sleep.
Katie, message me on Discord ASAP. I'm gonna forget. When are you free? Either this weekend or next.
And we gotta get Jedi Master Ren too, right?
Exactly.
And Katie also says, watch Rome. I've never watched Rome. I've heard it's pretty good.
I've heard nothing but good things.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good
Chris
things.
Geiger says, used my day off yesterday to try to get to a spot in Elden Ring where I feel like I'd be an appropriate level for the DLC next year.
Ooh, I like this.
What level is that, Chris? I want to know.
Whatever you feel is right.
I mean, I felt like I was pretty overpowered at the end of Elden Ring.
Yeah, it felt good. It felt real good.
I forgot what weapon it was.
Tweeting that we're live.
But it was this skill that like did a like a crescent arc of like stars in space to attack. I forgot what that weapon was. It was like Moonblade or something.
Yes.
Those are my jams. I love those things. Oh, Stingray says, did your PS5 fix itself? I saw it was going crazy.
I'll talk to you about it.
Oh, Katie wanted to watch it because of Ray Stevenson. Yeah.
Who's Ray Stevenson?
Is he not the one that passed away last week?
Oh, I did not know
from
any of this.
Ahsoka.
Oh, yes.
Actor?
Yeah, he passed away a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I know him from the other guys.
And he was in Punisher Warzone, I think. I think he was Punisher. Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy. Do we know how he passed?
I don't know. I can't
That's
look it up
nuts.
because I'll ruin everything stream-wise.
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It
sucks.
Yeah. What are you going to do? But Ahsoka's in a few weeks. Oh my God. Also, Secret Wars. It's here. I need to watch the first episode and two.
Unfortunately, Disney Plus was part of the things I had to cut.
Oh, fair enough.
So I haven't. I want to watch it, except for that really gruesome looking intro that I've seen on Twitter.
Oof. Yeah, it looks bad. That is. Come on. Why cut? You're Marvel. You don't need to cut corners. Exactly. You're not WB with Flash. Come on.
Did you
post in our Discord that we're live, by the way?
I did not.
I will do that right now.
Okay. If they can afford real life actors in green face paint walk around in the background of news shots, they can afford some CGI artists, visual artists to make a good intro.
Yeah, come on.
It reminds me of it reminds me of the Fringe marketing before that show came out. Have you watched that show? Have we talked about that?
No, I've never watched Fringe.
Fringe is incredible. One of my favorites. But before they came out, before the show started, in live sporting events, just in the crowd, like behind home plate, would be these men in black suits just staring and no emotion, whatever. They're just there.
That's cool.
And they don't really talk about it ever. They're just kind of sitting there for a little bit.
They're just there.
Yeah.
But like, do they have like Fringe like on the t-shirts or whatever?
No,
like on the
it's
suit?
Just in a black suit.
And they just took responsibility for it. Like, hey, this is us. This is our...
Yeah. Similar to the horror movie Smile. They had people in the crowd with a creepy smile just staring into the camera. It was very much like that.
Fair enough.
Oh, crap. Thank you so much.
What happened?
We're in the wrong boxes. I have Mr. Badman underneath
me. Look at that. I could be Kyle Stevenson.
No, you can't. You can't fill my shoes.
I could do it. Watch. Indie games. Razzmatazz. Come on, I got all your catchphrases.
I've never ever said Razzmatazz until this moment.
I feel like you always say it.
I would love to see you just take a day in my shoes when it comes to like my nephew.
Yeah.
Just wake up and see what happens when he's running to you and won't leave you alone until he takes a nap.
I'd be like, okay, stop it.
Here's a stick.
I just watch him as he tires out. Yeah, go have fun. You make your own fun. It's not up to me to make your fun. All right.
He's big into hunting for frogs. With the girls. They hunt for frogs a whole lot.
Look at him, little monster.
They had 30 frogs the other night.
Jesus. Yeah. Now does he try to eat them?
No, he knows better. He's not very careful putting the frogs down, though. He just kind of tosses them.
Yeah, no, me as a parent is dangerous.
Yeah.
And not ready for that responsibility, I think, for a long while. Also, guys, am I coming in good, great, fantastic, or can you hear a little something in the background? Let me know.
I don't hear anything.
Thank you, Katie.
Hi, Jadis. Jadis says, Style Keevenson.
Ooh.
like that.
I am Ron Burgundy. Ron Burgundy. I love that. I love that movie so much. Kyle, I'm like practically ready to start this.
I'm ready too. I was waiting for you.
Oh, okay. Good. Let me start it up on the Zencastr. And this.
And then we'll go to the intro scene, and then we'll be right on back.
Okay, fancy.
Are you ready?
Oh, yeah. I thought we were doing it.
No, you didn't tell me you were ready. See you in a bit.
I was like. Oh, wait, no longer. Greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 330 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, aka Mr. Badbit, and it is here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation, like we do live each and every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on youtube.com/PS Trophy Room. And you're listening to us in your ears or in your cars each and every Thursday. Now, with all that said, with all that out of the way, the greatest co-host, whoever will be, Mr. Kyle Stevenson, how are you, sir?
I'm pretty good.
Yeah?
I'm pretty good.
You feeling all right?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, man. I'm glad to hear it.
Great video games, you know?
Yeah.
Finally had 2 interviews today. That's right, 2.
Nice.
I didn't tell you about one of them.
Ooh.
Because it was a last minute thing. No, it wasn't
okay,
a secret.
was it like a secret?
It was a phone kind of interview kind of thing.
Okay. It's like the, hey, you're not a weirdo one.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool beans.
So
cool beans.
We'll
I love to
see.
hear it.
We'll see.
All right. Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You thought you were going to catch me slipping this episode because we didn't, you didn't write up the little, and this week we're talking about.
I totally forgot because there's a lot of notes and then.
But here's the thing. This week, we're really only talking about 2 things, but the one thing has a massive amount of implications and just impact on the industry as a whole. Yep. The FTC lawsuit is finally coming to a head here with Microsoft and Sony and really the industry just divulging a whole bunch of secret information. Now, we're going to do things a little differently this episode and actually just how we cover this as well. We're not going to give you the good guy versus bad guy. What we're going to do is we're going to give you all the cool information we found in this whole scene. And when the FTC comes to a ruling, we will then have like an emergency episode of the podcast. So be on the lookout for that in the next coming days. But this week's going to be really interesting because in light of all the drama that's happened, there's been a lot of cool stuff that we are now learning as consumers because this whole thing is going down. Not just that, but we're going to also be talking about Final Fantasy XVI because now we finally got to play it a whole bunch and we have a lot of thoughts like, is it technically even like a real Final Fantasy game? Cheers. And so much more. But with all that said, with all that out of the way, Kyle, I now throw this back to you, my friend, because we got a really nice comment that I think you wanted to start the show with, and it comes from Ace Insane, so read it out loud for everybody, please.
Ace Insane wrote in, hey guys, I'm not sure where this would fit in the show. We're giving it top billing there, friend. But I wanted to give some praise to this community. Last week I posted that my 4-year-old son will be having surgery this Thursday, and for any positive thoughts to be sent my family's way. There were several Discord members who responded to this and really got me feeling more positive about the situation. You don't have to read this on the show, too late. But since I don't use Twitter, I wanted you to see that you guys have built an absolutely amazing and supportive community that I'm very glad to be a part of. We're not just a group of guys and gals who love PlayStation, but who have personal connections and truly care about one another. Much love to you, too, and everyone else.
Oh my God, that is an amazing question. Kyle did not want me to read that because he's just like, save it for the show. Awesome. I was actually, because every time I talk about the show to people, even like when I'm in an interview, I always talk about the coolest thing that we get to do is not that we get to share our love for video games to thousands of people. It's the impact. So like seeing that, first off, Ace Insane, your son's gonna kick ass
1,000
this Thursday.
Yep.
Our thoughts, all of it, with you and the fam. But like being able to have a community that gives you the well wishes, you feel that support behind you is amazing. And when I talk to people about it, I go like, we raised thousands of dollars for, Miles, and in that hospital, that children's hospital for Extra Life. Like, it's awesome to see that our community cares way more for each other than I feel like a lot of internet communities often do.
1,000%.
That there's something there, the impact, man, it's beautiful to see. So I love that comment, and really much love to you and your family. I know you're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Your
son's gonna kick so much butt, and likewise I'll be thinking about him tomorrow when the episode goes live for everybody.
Absolutely.
But like you'll be there for community members is amazing. But I also want to just reiterate the support y'all show us individually and together are incredible. Like what I put out yesterday, that I had a job interview finally today, and just the love that I received from a lot of people that I know that are part of this community just makes me feel very good. And like you said long time ago, and I echoed it then, I'm gonna echo it here. We're doing something right.
Yeah,
and it feels good.
It feels.
I see too many opposite of what we have online.
Yeah,
on the daily, it feels like with all this going on. So it feels good to be on the right side of history.
Yeah, and that said, I do want to move into something. I feel like what better way in typical trophy room fashion. I want to just talk about some toxicity that I've been seeing over the past week in this community. No, in this city and in this community. I need to get this out of my chest. We try to have fun here. We try to say, hey, here's some merch that we hope you guys and gals enjoy. Okay, we hope you all enjoy this merch. But what I've been seeing a lot of is besmirching of the merch.
No. I see no besmirching.
People are going, what is the word slanger? People are looking at it disturbed, perturbed. Like, what is this word? Oh, team banger. And it's just like, no. I feel like now we need to do some re-education in this community.
No. See, here's where I have an issue with this show.
Okay.
You lost.
What do you mean?
Stop making it a bigger deal. You lost. I have more members of House of Banger than you have of House of Slanger, and you feel sad about it, and you're upset. And you think something's wrong. I don't believe
it's true. I just think you have a lot of bot accounts.
I need to pull you out of the deep state right now. That's what I got to do.
No. Everything's fine here. No. Listen, slanger's a good word, and I need photographic proof. If you got one of these shirts, whether it be the Sony Pony Express, whether it be the banger shirt, why would you? Just burn it after you buy it. And if you have the slanger shirt, hashtag Team Slanger, hashtag Team Banger. Post your pictures loud and proud. Add us at PS Trophy Room. I want to see photographic evidence that people are actually enthralled with this word.
Did you aside from the totally fake rivalry we have over these words?
Sure. Oh, it's real.
For you, not for me. I could care less. See, now who's in whose head rent free? Huh? How about that?
Okay, maybe you got a point.
I really love the shirt colors and how they match with the logos as well.
Oh, the light blue.
The light blue, the orange looks great. There's like a cardinal red. I think looks really good.
Cardinal red.
It's real nice.
Oh, wow, that is good.
They're very nice colors.
Oh, the Mets colors. I'm digging.
Of course, I had to do Mets.
Fair enough. This is a long plug for the merch, but honestly, I'm just real proud of it.
Don't forget about the mug.
And a mug. I'm going to buy that mug. All right, Kyle. It's time for a Patreon pitch before we square up the shenanigans. And that is, of course, you can support this show by heading over to patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. It's the reason why we look so good. We sound so great. So if we ever got you through a long car ride, tough day at work, tough day in general, God, I've been there. Please head on over to PS Trophy Room PS Trophy Room on Patreon and support the show. It really does help us out. It keeps the debtors away and the manscape at bay. So Yeah, it really does help this
That
little
just
indie
makes it
show
sound
going.
we're very hairy.
I really thought of when I thought of like Manscaped, like the ad people, but with like
Oh yeah, no,
spears, and at the end it's like
I
buzzers.
knew what you're saying, but like we got to keep them away,
Yeah, exactly.
and we're out of control over here.
People think because I'm bald,
We're full in the 70s. Right
I'm
now.
hairy.
Yeah,
but shade. All right, everybody. I want to thank our premium producers, Todd Burowitz and Toxic. I want to thank our platinum members, Jay Shea, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Millennial Falcon Gaming, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximus, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Chris the Wizard. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hide Indoors, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Androsasaur, Astronaut Jr., The Winter Gamer, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Brenty Blob, Bubble Boy N7, Captain Logan, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, M9 Prime, Stone Cold, E.T., Tino Six Speed, N. Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Bayman, and Matthew King. Thank you all so much for your generosity. And with that, Kyle, it's time. Oh, yeah? Oh, sorry. Kyle from the trophy room, you have your hand raised.
Yeah, just because I think patrons should know. I know we're a little behind on shows. We're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Road to show. Road to the show. Oh my God. Road to Greatness for Jedi Survivor will be coming very soon.
Yep.
And then the new shows that we talked about will be happening very soon. So
they're
just
imminent.
letting y'all know.
Imminent. This
Also,
July.
Before we get into all this, very serious and heady things.
Who?
Here's a fun question. For the eventual biopic of what's happening, who's playing Jim and Phil? Who's playing everyone that's involved right here, and who's the judge?
Oh God, this is great. First off, Judge Judy's the judge.
Thank you, 1000%,
100%.
Yes,
and I even want like the bum bum bum.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
See, here's the thing. I'm bad with actors' names. So who voices Rocket Raccoon?
Bradley Cooper.
I want Bradley Cooper as Phil Spencer.
Okay.
I want
Matt Damon as Jim Ryan.
I want the older Skarsgård. What's his name?
Stellan?
I think it's Bill. Oh, Stellan. Yeah, Stellan Skarsgård.
I think Bill is Pennywise, is he not?
Hello, Georgie. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
He was great. I love those
great.
movies. I'm going to say something really outrageous. It made me slanderous. Better than the original. But I want Stellan in there as Jim Ryan.
Okay.
Because I feel like, first off, Stellan's incredible. I think he could do it. Kyle, you're cracking up.
No, we have a Charlie Sheen in chat.
Charlie, what do you think? You got Hollywood knowledge and Tiger Blood running through your veins. That's right. So that would be my pick. What about you?
Yeah, I could see a very serious Matt Damon as Jim Ryan.
Ooh, pulling off a British accent, you think?
Yeah, I think he could.
Okay.
As far as Phil goes,
yeah,
that's it. I think of one for Bobby Kotick.
Bobby Kotick, just a big large piece of shit.
Yeah, just a garbage bag filled with used diapers, dirty diapers.
Yeah. No, actually, the guy from Succession. I want the dad.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah, and with an American accent, I want to see that happen.
Yeah. Who would be Phil?
I want Adam Driver somewhere in there. As who, it doesn't matter. I love Adam Driver.
Yeah.
Adam Driver puts my butt in the seat.
Yeah. What is the well, I can't think of his weird choice.
But
I want to see it happen. Peter Dinklage as Phil Spencer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I want Rosario Dawson as Sarah Bond.
Ooh, that's a good role right there.
Oh,
that's good.
There you go. See, I nailed it.
Yeah, in the comments, you let us know who you think would be cast as these players in this FTC case.
Yeah, I'm now thinking Yeah, now you got me thinking all sorts of things. You know what, Kyle? It's time to square up the
We
shenanigans.
should put it up on Twitter and let people, figure it out.
Yeah, I like this. This makes me feel nice.
All right, let's square up the FTC shenanigans. First little bit is from PS Lifestyle. Most of these come from Zermina Khan and Tom Ivan. Yep. So just want to put that out there. Microsoft discussed spending Sony out of business. Xbox executive, Xbox executive Matt Booty did indeed discuss Microsoft pushing PlayStation out of the gaming business, according to an internal email shared as part of the ongoing legal proceedings between Microsoft Activision and the FTC. Hold on, I got a bubble in my throat.
Uh-oh. Cough out the demons. Oh, there you go. You got it out.
Yep, it's gone. The allegation was first made by a group of gamers who sued Microsoft to prevent the Activision merger. Despite the company's attempts to keep the email sealed, it was made public. A different view to the general view below might be that we, Microsoft, this is the quote, by the way, are in a very unique position to be able to go spend Sony out of business. If we think that video game content matters in 10 years, we might look back and say, quote, totally would have been worth it to lose $2 billion or $3 billion in 2020 to avoid a situation where Tencent, Google, Amazon, or even Sony have become the Disney of games and own most of the valuable content, end quote. For example, it is practically impossible for anyone to start a new video streaming service at scale at this point. What content do you base it on? Things like Hulu and CBS All Access will be trivial players in the space. In games, Google is 3 to 4 years away from being able to have a studio up and running. Amazon has shown no ability to execute on game content. Content is the one moat that we have in terms of a catalog that runs on current devices and capability to create new. Sony is really the only other player who could compete with Game Pass, and we have a 2-year and 10 million subs lead.
Okay. So this little excerpt is really interesting. First off, a lot of these things, it's really interesting to note, Kyle, the language you use, or you see a lot of them use here, because it is a very strategic, all that jazz, but they're talking like us, you know? We always think these people to be like, I don't know, robotic, like they just somehow, these things just happen.
They just speak in PR speak to everyone, even their loved ones.
And they're even having the same conversations we're having on podcasts where it's just like, hey, who do you think we should buy for $2 billion?
Do you think they do internal podcast episodes that just play in the offices of them talking?
Hey guys, this is Jim Ryan here.
Here's a story about my cat. Little rascal.
Man, he's a little rambunctious son of a gun. No, but I think like these type of things. Like there's, I think, open internal dialogue, which obviously we're looking at right here. Mm-hmm. But like them going out and saying, yeah, I mean, we need to get into this game because content is king. And right now we're in a position where, a Google and Amazon is, again, this is during 2019, so 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. They look like they could be rivals, right? And so we need to get ahead of this. We are even seeing the same issues from Sony. Sony being, hey, listen, we have Ghost of Tsushima 2, we have Last of Us 2, Horizon 2, all that stuff, all the 2s. But the sequelitis could hit in. When you take a look at our back catalog of games, you see, a lot of dormant IP like a Jak and Daxter that we're not using, where Nintendo really does have that strong suit. I mean, Kirby's hit every other year, they're great. Mario's hit every other year, they're great. Zelda's hit once in a lifetime, and they're just stellar every time, right? Or once every 6 years, but lifetime and gamer years.
Yeah.
So I want to know what your thoughts on this quote is. Do you feel threatened, or are you surprised that how lax it all seems to be?
I'm really not all surprised. Mm-hmm. I feel like every company has the same kind of dialogue with each other. Yeah. It's just this is the first time we actually see it for real. It's things that you think of and you conjecture about, and until you actually have hard evidence of it, it doesn't seem like that's really what's going on. So it doesn't shock me. I do like the fact, though, that they really do seem threatened by what Sony is capable of.
To me, it's
maybe
not. It's
maybe
more
not
than
threatened, but it's just like
they're seeing the tea leaves.
yeah,
they're
they gotta do
thinking
something. There needs to be a call to action. They need to change something.
yeah. They're seeing the field in not the next year or two, but they're seeing it in terms of 5 to 10.
And you
right?
said this was an email from what, 2019?
Yeah. Now, to me, that's the interesting thing. They're thinking about it like 4D chess. They're predicting where the market's going to be in 5-10 years. It's not where it is right now. You know, they're taking a look at it right now. They're saying, hey, how can we maneuver 5+ out, or how can we get to this goal 5-10 plus years out?
Yeah.
And you know, it seems like Microsoft's argument is moving beyond the box. It is very much they're looking at Game Pass as the Hulu, as the CBS All Access, which is so cute. Now was it Peacock now?
No, it's Paramount Plus, is it not?
Right, it's Paramount Plus. You're right.
Yeah.
So they're looking at it in subscription models, and that's also a model that just works for Microsoft as well. They do a whole bunch of it. Look at like Word, for example.
And being 4 years after this, it's clearly working.
Yeah,
Game Pass is pretty much everywhere.
That said,
from what I hear,
but it's also struggling to hit above that 31 million sub mark, right? Like they've hit that ceiling with console players, and they're looking out elsewhere in PC, in mobile, and all those things. So in cloud. And so to me, it's interesting because they go, oh, well, listen, buying them out of business. That's not what we're saying. That's such an old strategy. But I would say, and PlayStation fans, this is where you're going to clap for me. First off, I feel like PlayStation fans and Microsoft fans are going to be clapping for me and then throwing tomatoes. Like,
yeah,
depends on whatever.
Hot and cold.
It's going to be very hot and cold with me. But it's like, yeah, you say that's a past strategy, but in the span of 3 years, you have spent more than $75 billion to get IP. So I do understand the sentiment of like, oh, that's such an old strategy. It's like, yeah, but you spent almost $80 billion to get a whole bunch of content.
Yeah.
Again,
for
I
your
feel
ecosystem.
Yeah. So to me, I kind of view those as like hollowed words. And I feel like a lot too during this whole thing. It's like Jim Ryan's the villain, and everything Microsoft is saying, all completely right. And it's like, okay, that's a narrative. Well, there's a lot of dumb quotes on both sides. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah. And both sides are ridiculous.
And I feel the pendulum, even in my heart of hearts, lean towards Microsoft here. But it's not like black and white, hot and cold here.
No.
Yeah.
At least, it's going back and forth. But like when Sharpies are being shown up, when they show up, I'm like, what are we doing?
Sharpies lines are drawn.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. All right, Kyle. It's time for the next bit here. The next bit of controversy. Drama.
Ooh.
You guys know I hate drama.
Oh my gosh! What was that character's name? What did you name this one?
I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot.
I'll just call her Gina. I just hate drama. Why does anybody believe me?
She totally still uses a Razor phone, right?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You think I'm gonna let Apple with my personal information, Kyle? Forget about it. Totally off the fucking grid.
Bethesda boss unhappy with Xbox exclusivity emails show. Hines first, this is Pete Hines. Pete Hines first emailed ZeniMax and Bethesda leadership, including Todd Howard, a snippet of Microsoft's announcement regarding the Activision Blizzard merger and Call of Duty's multi-platform status. Hines seemed annoyed and wanted to know why Bethesda wasn't given a heads up about the deal and why Activision's handling is the quote-unquote opposite of how Bethesda is being handled. He's quoted, quote, "I'm confused. Is the below not the opposite of what we were just asked, in parentheses, told to do with our own titles? What's the difference? Emphasis in bold is mine." From this blog post yesterday, first, some commenters have asked whether we will continue to make popular content like Activision's Call of Duty available on competing platforms like Sony's PlayStation. The obvious concern is that Microsoft could make this title available exclusively on the Xbox console, undermining opportunities for Sony PlayStation users. To be clear, Microsoft will continue to make Call of Duty and other popular Activision Blizzard titles available on PlayStation, though the term of any existing agreement with Activision, or through the term of any existing agreement with Activision. And we have committed to Sony that we will also make them available on PlayStation beyond the existing agreement and into the future so that Sony fans can continue to enjoy the games they love. We are also interested in taking similar steps to support Nintendo's successful platform. We believe this is the right thing for the industry, for gamers, and for our business. Did anyone at Xbox think about giving us a heads up on this? Todd's going to DICE in a couple weeks. You don't think a journo might find him and press him on why the Below is okay for COD or any Activision Blizzard games, but not the Elder Scrolls 6 or Starfield? End quote.
Very interesting.
Very
also, I feel like
interesting.
I mess up this quote a bit for you. My apologies.
It's okay. No worries.
Yeah, I was doing it on the iPad. Anyway, so very interesting here. Also to note a little like piece of information, Indiana Jones now from this testimony we now know is an Xbox exclusive because after they bought Bethesda, they went up to Disney and renegotiated the contract to have Indiana Jones probably, I think, also on Game Pass, one would assume.
Yeah.
But it's also now a console exclusive. So
cool.
Now we know that bit of information.
Yeah.
Cool. Kyle, what do you feel like? What Pete said? Like, is it like totally out of pocket?
I mean, it's not out of pocket because it's an email, an internal email.
It's an email chain. Like he said, he put him on blast.
Oh my god, being brought back to high school and I hate it.
OMG. Tough times for the Stevenson household.
That was so bad. Yeah. When I walked down the stairs that morning and started talking like that, oh boy, it was a rough time in this house. They thought I had a concussion.
Why are you talking like that? That's not what we're saying. It's a stereotype. It's offensive. Oh, jokes aside.
Yes.
What do you feel like Pete's conveying here? Because are you feeling like Pete's saying, hey, why them and not us? As in, like, we want to be on PlayStation? Or do you think of it like, why them, not us? They shouldn't be, given any quarter, these PlayStation folk. Where's your mind at?
I mean, first and foremost, I just think he's just upset with the lack of a cohesive communication chain.
Ooh, look at you.
I feel like there are a lot of missed wires going on between everybody, and whether or not they told Activision Blizzard one thing to get them to sell, like a selling point kind of thing, to get the deal done, and didn't do the same for Bethesda and vice versa, or like, I just feel like everything is on the same level what it needs to be, but somebody messed up the messaging to one side or the other.
Fair. So, like, to me, what I feel is
that
like,
made any sense. Now I'm thinking about it, I thought I just rambled and
don't
said nothing.
Don't worry, I'll make your point seem like you said something.
Good, thank you.
Because, like, to get the deal through, so like for when it comes to Activision Blizzard, it's like, yeah, we're gonna do what we need to get this big behemoth on our side to get this deal through, and not to say like they're gonna pull the rug from you and be like, yeah, it's you're here with us. That's right. I decided to edit that out now. But it's like, hey, Call of Duty is, let's be honest, it's more important than anything Bethesda has to offer, right? Like the revenue from, I think, was it like 2020 and 2022 has that thing at like $26 billion of money made. This is why Call of Duty is that important. It's why we're having these conversations. That's why when you try to compare a Final Fantasy, 16 versus a Call of Duty, that it becomes apples and oranges. It's because this game is massive and the implications of it leaving is huge. So when they buy out Bethesda, it's kind of them throwing Xbox throwing them a lifeline, going, hey, listen, we know you've had a little bit of a rocky few years. Here's a way to you don't have to worry about any of that now. You can just focus your dev teams on one or two platforms rather than 3 or 4 platforms. So that's what I'm thinking. I think Pete's a little crossed the way I read it, is that he's just a little crossed of, well, why can't we do it that then? I mean, right? I think he's more highlighting a double standard than anything.
And like, in all reality, this is a fact. This is a thing that was going to happen. Starfield was going to come to PlayStation. There was a PlayStation version. So in Pete's mind,
Jimbo's going to talk about.
Yeah, and in Pete's mind, he's like, well, we already had this in the pipeline for this other ecosystem outside of Microsoft. And you obviously told us to shut it down and cancel it and stop working on it. And think of all that money that went into that project for that version of the game to be gone away. But Activision's okay with making games for multiple places. Like why is that okay? Starfield was announced way long ago. Like the PlayStation version was being worked on from the beginning. Like why is that okay to throw away all those years of money and hard work?
And I think more so the hard work than the money aspect.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
So, and I think Phil would probably pull him aside going, because Starfield isn't going to make $26 billion. And that just becomes a hard economic truth of it. But I also want to highlight, and props to Microsoft, that it seems like you can have this type of conversation with the leadership. And yeah, sure, you're in a very senior role, but like the senior role is questioning the upper echelons of management, and I kind of respect that they didn't go, and you shut up. They didn't like rock them. It's like shut up to them. So yeah, I kind of dig that type of communication as well. That said, Kyle, let's get through some of these other ones, because this one gets very exciting. So take it away, good sir.
Okay, yeah, here it is. I was trying to do something on the fly. Never mind. Xbox considered buying Bungie and Housemarque before Sony nabbed them. An internal Microsoft presentation now made public shows that Xbox had a shopping list of 100 plus companies it could potentially acquire, with both Bungie and Housemarque making it to the top 17 candidates for consideration on console and PC. The final watch list included Bungie, Hitman maker IOI, Supergiant Games, and Zynga, now owned by Take-Two, among others.
All right. Now, this was a list of like 100 plus studios. I think there was also like a separate list of like, here the short list, right? It's like they're vetting for a presidential candidate here. So they're just kind of like, here's the field and here's the ones that we think are going to make the most impact for us. And yeah, Bungie was on that list. I think, 2 years ago, we saw rumors and inclinations of this happening, but we saw a lot of folks like from Bungie side. I think Pete Parsons, one of the heads over there, going, "This is completely false." Looks like it wasn't, and it seems like we're getting a lot of those. Oh, actually, this was happening, and just because they said it didn't happen on social media doesn't make it particularly true. That said, what I want to find the interesting bit here of this conversation is, and Kyle, I want to shout you out because you really headed this, is what would be the top 5, Kyle, most devastating blows to PlayStation if Microsoft actually nabbed them instead of Activision? So would you like me to go first, or would you like to go first?
No, I can. I can go. I'm going to give up on what I was trying to do. I was trying to make the list visible for everyone so they can see.
Okay, fair enough.
Should have done that beforehand. Yeah. So the biggest, I'd be bummed is Square Enix.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a Final Fantasy fan.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Come on, dude. Yeah, I'd be very bummed if it went the route of Bethesda, where my Final Fantasies are now only going to be on Xbox. My long-awaited Star Ocean 2 remake is only going to be on Xbox and maybe Nintendo. That would just bum me out because I am such a fan of Square Enix and what they do.
And now they were rumored to be in talks.
I know.
I think that project was Project Phoenix that Microsoft offered or referred to as a potential bid. Yeah. And it looks like they even threw in a bid for Sega as well.
Yeah.
But I think that got rejected for Activision.
And just it was one of the headline things. It would have been absolutely wild, and I would not be okay with it. Here's the fanboy coming out of me.
Go for it.
For them to buy Housemarque.
Yeah.
There is no lineage between Xbox and Housemarque. There is there's nothing there. It's just like straight up just buying something just to buy it. Like seeing how great it's doing over here on PlayStation. You know what? We're just gonna take it.
Exactly.
No, I would have been mad.
I'd write a book called The Audacity of That.
1000%. I would co-sign it. I would write the foreword to that book.
All right, what's the other two that would grind your gears?
Oh man, I'm looking through the list right now. I mean, obviously, a lot of these, I know one for you for sure, but I'll let you say it,
please.
I'll give my Super
list.
Giant's another one.
Yeah,
I'd be very bummed about. Granted, there is a little bit more cohesiveness there because Hades did come to Xbox before PlayStation. I get that.
Pass,
yeah. So I mean, that makes a little bit more sense in the grand scheme of things. But again, as me who primarily plays on PlayStation, I'd be very, very sad to have like some of my favorite games away. And Drinkbox as well is another one.
Yes,
that'd be bummed out. Drinkbox would make a ton of sense for anybody.
Yeah,
to nab up because they're extremely talented. Yeah, PlayStation, please.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, and Ember Lab. Xbox, what are you doing?
I like how you're taking my list.
I'm sorry. I saw it there. I was like, oh, jeez.
Yeah. I mean, Ember Lab, absolutely great pickup.
Again, it's like
Super Giant.
Seeing someone do their homework and knock it out of the park in a different classroom. And then decided to steal the homework and present it as your own.
Exactly. Super Giant would be devastating. Housemarque as well would be like, again, the audacity. The two here that I think would be huge for Xbox and would make a lot of sense, one of them, is Devolver Digital. I think we're seeing Devolver Digital right now, Sony putting that investment in that company as a way to shore up indie support on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right. And seeing that partnership between Devolver and PlayStation strengthen over the last 5 years goes to show this deal would probably never work for them. But that would be huge because I think the next get for Microsoft is probably an indie publishing unit of shoring up and guaranteeing indie support on that platform. That said, the next big one is From Software.
Yeah, that was the one I was referring to.
That was the one that we're looking at. And I would tell you this right now, if that ever came to be, if that ever came to pass, I would be so upset for a good 30 seconds. And then the 30 seconds after that, I would create the Xbox show called the Achievement Hall in a matter of seconds. You want to win the console war to me, you take From Software off the goddamn table. Exactly.
That's where that will tip
this. That's where my heart lies, man. So I would just be, all right, From Software said, sorry, guys, you're never going to see me. 100%. 100%.
I'm doing another look over just to see if other, like, Gearbox would bum me out just because I love Borderlands. But nothing, like, it wouldn't be too bad.
It will be all right.
I think another one that makes sense for Xbox, though, is Playdead. I think nabbing Playdead, I think, would be a great get for Xbox.
Oh, yeah. They're like, again, and it comes to like what we've been saying
for sure.
Yeah, it's like, how about acquire the studios you have good, strong working relationships with?
Yeah. Yep.
I like that. I like those more. Sorry.
And listen, Luke in chat. LOL, would be a shame if Final Fantasy was only on one console. For most of my life, it was only on one console.
That's right.
That's how I played it.
And we're keeping it pure, by God. We're keeping it pure.
Joe said that, not me.
That's right. We're keeping Final Fantasy pure, by God. All right, Kyle. I want to introduce this segment within a segment. Ready?
Yeah.
It's time. Jimbo takes the stand. Or as I like to say, "There's my hero. Watch him as he goes." He's definitely ordinary.
This little bit comes from Victoria Kennedy over at Eurogamer. Sony boss Jim Ryan doesn't like Starfield exclusivity, but doesn't deem it anti-competitive. What?
Yes.
When asked directly if he had any issues with Redfall or Starfield being exclusive, Ryan replied, quote, "I don't like it, but it's not anti-competitive," end quote. He did add, however, that he initially expected these releases not to be exclusive as, quote, pretty much every other Bethesda game had been multi-platform, end quote, prior to Microsoft's acquisition of Bethesda in 2021. Ryan previously revealed he originally believed the merger, quote, was not an Xbox exclusivity play, end quote. In an email dated January 20th, 2022, the exec wrote, quote, they're thinking bigger than that, and they have the cash to make moves like this. I've spent a fair of time with both Phil Spencer, boss of Xbox, and Bobby Kotick, boss of Activision Blizzard, over the past day. I'm pretty sure we will continue to see COD on PlayStation for many years to come, end quote. However, he stated last night that his view changed after an email exchange with Spencer in August of 2022. The contents of this exchange and what exactly caused this change of view remain a mystery for now, but Ryan said it, quote, set the alarm bells ringing for Sony, end quote. We believe that Microsoft intends to use Call of Duty to disadvantage PlayStation in terms of the availability or the manner in which the game is made available on PlayStation consoles, and to drive PlayStation gamers to the Xbox platforms, specifically Game Pass, end quote, he shared. When asked to quantify the harm to Sony if this transaction goes through, Ryan stated, quote, I think the harm to Sony Interactive Entertainment arises from gamers deserting our platform and going to Xbox. So it goes way beyond the narrow contribution that those gamers spend on Call of Duty itself. It would affect spending on hardware, accessories, subscription services, and games, end quote.
So the one thing to note here, again, thinking that 5-year, 10-year difference, it's crazy to see Jim Ryan also draw similar conclusions from the separate company. It's like left Twix and right Twix right now, guys. They're viewing each other from across the windows.
Yeah.
And they both have a similar way of thinking that is just bonkers to me.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I want to know that redacted document of what changed. What was the thing that set the alarm bells are ringing in Jim Ryan's head?
Phil just sent him the middle finger emoji. Said, F you, Jim.
How about suck it?
Suck on this cod.
It's just an emoji of a middle finger.
Yeah, that's all it is.
I'll try to take that, Jim Ryan. But the second quote that is less interesting is like, drive PlayStation gamers to Xbox platforms, specifically Game Pass. You mean like capitalism, Jim?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
we are in a recession. It is a pretty good deal. I don't know.
I think what I think gets missed on a lot of people is how small this market really is in terms of like people, the competitors in it. Because people are like, wow, FTC, CMA, whatever. They're very much protecting Sony. It's like, okay, but like who else is the other person making games in this market? Mm-hmm. So like the pendulum, what is it, swinging one way or the other could mean something really negative for this marketplace. If the rumors are true, or that quote is right, and Xbox is trying to just spend PlayStation out of the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sorry, that is concerning. That being said, though, again, it's also capitalism. So, Kyle, I want to know your thought as I walk over to across the hall because there's some commotion afoot. No. So go talk to the audience real fast.
I don't know what to talk about. It's crazy. I do think it's interesting. Of the whole like, Jim doesn't think that the exclusivity of Starfield, or he doesn't like it, but he doesn't deem it anti-competitive, and I kind of feel the same way. Like, I don't like exclusivity per se when it comes to outside of first party things, but I don't think it's anti-competitive. I think it's pro-competitive. I like that they go out there and try to give people a reason to play on their system. I was just saying, Joe, that you're back. Welcome back.
Hi.
You survived the commotion. That I agree with Jim though, where I don't like the Starfield exclusivity.
Yeah,
but I definitely don't think it's anti-competitive. I think it is. It's pro-competitive. It's like, give me a reason to play on your system, and I'm okay with that. Outside of first-party stuff,
yeah, and
go at it.
I think that's a really great point too that I forgot to mention. So thank you so much. Here, yeah. It's like he's saying, yeah, take Starfield away from us. It makes sense. We do it too. They're saying like this is. I mean, this is how the 16.
It's
exactly.
a thing that we have to do, and like, Again,
he's like, don't hate the player, hate the game.
As people who play games for a long time, a lot of people listening to this as well. I know this notoriously, or it's ingrained in my brain from working at a GameStop.
Yeah,
there were so many Xbox exclusive things, and Sony was just didn't have anything back in the day, so they flip flop all the time. It's been a thing forever.
It's
good for competition.
So yeah, don't hate the player, hate the game. That said, we got a few smaller points. So let's get these out of the way here, Kyle.
This comes from VGC. Jimmy Boy Ryan. Was this you, or is that the actual title of the article?
I forget what they put here. Oh, it was PlayStation Boss, and I was like, let me change this to make it.
Yeah.
Jimmy Boy.
So
we need a nickname.
Most of it comes from VGC, but Joe, put some charm in there. Jimmy Boy Ryan claims publishers unanimously dislike Xbox Game Pass. Recounting the discussion, Microsoft's lawyer said Ryan told investors that Game Pass had, quote, driven them to make the large acquisition, unquote. Ryan reportedly continued, I talked to all publishers and they unanimously do not like Game Pass because it's value destructive. Was that true at the time, the lawyer asked? I believe it to have been true, Ryan responded. You said you talked to all the publishers, did you? Pressed Microsoft's lawyer. I talk to publishers all the time, and this is a very commonly held view over many years by the publishers, Ryan responded. Somebody put this into a comic.
Please.
The little
I'm a literature. I talk to publishers like all the time.
Yeah, I heard it once. I heard it. My cat told me.
Realistically though, like, we've heard it too. Like, there are some publishers that like it, some publishers that don't.
Yeah.
Smaller publishers genuinely do because it's shared money. It's what we talk about on the show. It's the reason why you see AAA games like Capcom take it is Capcom's not giving them Resident Evil, right? They're giving them Exoprimal, right? WB Games isn't giving, Batman per se, right? They're giving away Back 4 Blood. So it's like, even Square Enix, they'll give them, always Outriders.
Yeah.
Right? It's the IP that is unproven. So, of course, publishers aren't the biggest, like AAA publishers? No, absolutely not. Yeah. They're not the biggest fan of it, but they could also see it as a tool to be used to also help them from time to time.
Yeah. You might have watched or read more of this than I did. At any point, that it just popped in my head. A game that I put in hundreds of hours this year. Yeah. At any point did they bring up MLB The Show being on Game Pass? And that being a first-party studio?
I was actually really surprised they didn't either.
I'm shocked at that. Like, hey, it's a first-party thing. It's on your service. Like, how am I being anti, whatever?
Yeah.
Even though that's an MLB decision, actually. So
yes. And I think like Jim would say, we have no, whatever. And that was maybe a strategic move on Microsoft's behalf. Sure. They really don't have, when it comes to like the MLB of the show, any real say there. Like they could have either continued making them or stopped after that deal was done. So yeah. All right, Kyle. Well, let's talk about Ryan's thoughts of the cloud.
Yeah, and this isn't strife. This is the unseen thing above our heads. Quote, it obviously depends on how you define significant, but I will say that cloud technology will become a meaningful component of how gamers access games between 2025 and 2035, he said. Following some probing, Ryan said it was impossible to be more specific, but added, we're making significant investments in cloud in anticipation of it becoming a very meaningful way in the way that gamers access game content. Wow. Just repeating the same thing over and over again.
Jim, you're doing great. You're doing great.
No, not me. I just read Jim.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, he had an error.
Yeah.
So, people, 504 error. And then he rebooted and he was fine. So, and we wonder why PlayStation doesn't want to be friends with us. So, okay, the cloud stuff. It's very interesting, Kyle. I'll tell you this: cloud is not the successful platform Microsoft has hoped it is. It's actually been a bit of a money pit that they've been throwing into, and they were having a lot of difficulty growing that cloud service. And Jimbo is right here. I mean, they're starting to. You see the Q Light. They see it in something. Again, 5 to 10 years is going to be something in the future. I want to know, Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
Other than internet speed, I know not everybody has 5G. Take that out of it.
Mm-hmm.
What is the thing stopping cloud gaming from actually taking off? Again, let's in a perfect world, everybody's internet's great.
Sure.
What's the one thing stopping it?
I'll just say the first thing that popped in my head when you answer that question is education. Is talking about what it is, how it benefits people who game, and why you should take advantage of it. I feel like it's thrown around like a buzzword and whatnot as like an additive thing, but no one's telling me why I should be excited about cloud. Just that it's a thing.
Yeah, I like that a lot because even Microsoft, like, I mean, their showcase was amazing. I heard nothing of like cloud, and how this benefit. That's really like Game Pass Ultimate it's a bullet point, but like not explored more. I like that education.
Cloud saves, sure, your saves are up in the cloud, but how?
Yeah,
or
but how does
games need the cloud to run the game and do textures, whatever, in real time? That I understand a little bit about, but
I would just say show them a picture of a toilet or someone sitting on a toilet with a gamepad.
That's all you really need to do. That's really all you need to do.
But like for me, I think the one thing, and I think this is why accessibility matters, is UI. Like trying to play Diablo on a mobile screen like Diablo 4, hard to do. And I'll give credit to Luke on this because we were talking about this last night. But like Diablo Immortal works perfectly. Why? Because that game is made to be played on mobile. Diablo 4, you see all this little text. How am I supposed to know the crit chance? I can't read a goddamn thing. So like to me, I think that's the one thing. There has to be massive UI changes. Like the thing has to know this is being read via the cloud, and then the UI has to change so that you can see things better. I think that's a major hurdle that hopefully someone's going to figure out in the next 5-10 years, or else, I kind of see this as a, not to say like dead, but like it's gonna be as nascent as VR is right now. I mean, someone needs to figure that out, and they figured the whole thing out.
I mean, Sony went through it with the Gaikai acquisition and what turned into the PS Now, and that didn't light the world on fire, but that included cloud based things. See, it's a thing that I know is out there, but I don't know why I need it. For me, that plays all my games here at home, and if I'm on the go, I'll bring my Switch or my Vita and play games there. I don't know.
And that's right. I mean, everybody's in. I think we're starting to go out more as a society where remote work isn't as popular as it was.
Believe me, I wish it was.
Yeah. So like, tell us why. Like, hey, you could pick up this game, play it at lunch, simply as picking up a Switch, as something native,
without
a big push on that.
Poor performance. It's not gonna run poor. It's gonna be like you're just sitting on your couch at home and playing.
Yeah. All right, Kyle. Let's talk about this.
Let's bring the Sharpies out.
Yeah, let's talk about the Sharpie incident.
Oh boy. Come on, PNGs exist, Sony. Poorly redacted Sony docs reveal Last of Us and Horizon sequels cost $200 million plus. As reported by The Verge, the confidential information was seemingly redacted with a pen. It was a Sharpie. But when the documents were scanned, some details remained clearly visible. After this was realized, the documents were pulled from public viewing. Revealed in the documents are: Horizon Forbidden West cost $212 million to make and was worked on by around 300 employees for 5 years. The Last of Us Part 2 cost some $220 million to make and was worked on by around 200 people for over 5 years. Microsoft. I'm sorry. I thought there was more. Never mind.
No, don't you worry about it. Why do games take so long to make?
I don't know, man.
Is it because they're spending $200+ million and there's 300 people across, the
that they have
campus here working on it?
And all have benefits and need to be paid, and
This is crazy though. How do we stem this? Like, these are PS4 4 games for the most part. Forbidden West not, but like,
sure,
the cost is only going to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it: the average Last of Us Part 2, Horizon Forbidden West sold about 9+ million copies sold. That's $680 million. I know I'm really good at math, and I did not have that image up before.
Show the post-it. Where is it?
It's on here. It's on here. Son of a bitch, he sold me out. Sharpie, you betrayed me again. But like, what are games going to look like at the end of this generation?
I don't know. I thought we were in.
It starts to think it's like unsustainable.
1000%, and I thought we were in the.
Oh, my camera froze at the worst time.
1000% did, and I thought I was saying something wrong, and it's still frozen, and I love it.
Oh no!
Enjoy that, YouTube.
I fixed it.
Where was I going? Oh, I thought we were on a good track of getting those smaller in between things like Miles.
Yep.
And oh my God, there was another one. What am I thinking of?
It's almost like Sean Layden, I think, has a really strong point.
Yeah. What
games do not need to be 40+ hours. Like not every game needs to be a Valhalla 100+ hours. You know, you could be a Miles Morales, and that is completely fine. Because this is crazy.
Yeah, I'm blanking on the other one. I can't think of it, but
it's fine. All right, the last bit here, Kyle. The last bit of the drama.
Oh boy.
Is one of the dumbest quotes I've ever heard in this hearing at first glance. And it doesn't come from Jimbo. And this is where now the Xbox people. Yeah, the Xbox people are going to start throwing haymakers. I'm going to catch a stray in a sec.
Also, by the way, Kate in chat says, I'm using that screenshot for future memes. So thanks, Joe. Appreciate that.
No problem, bud.
Microsoft CEO claims he'd love to get rid of console exclusives entirely. Nadella said that during his 9.5 years in charge of Microsoft, it has been his philosophy to make software available on as many platforms as possible. Quote, I grew up in a company that had always believed that software should run in as many platforms as possible, and that's just the Microsoft I grew up in. I believe in that, he said. Asked if he's aware that Xbox has some games that are exclusive to its consoles, Nadella claimed this is necessary for Microsoft to compete in a playing field dictated by its more dominant rival Sony. Quote, if it was up to me, I would love to get rid of the entire sort of exclusives on consoles.
You're the CEO.
But that's not for me to define, especially as a low share player in the console
Microsoft.
market. That the dominant player there has defined market competition using exclusives, and so that's the world we live in. He added, I have no love for that world, end quote.
Wow. I love Microsoft. Microsoft's really trying to like frame themselves. I mean, they opened up with, we lost the console war. We lost it. We're in third place. We're never going to get back up.
They're really trying so hard to make themselves look like the martyr here.
We are just trying our best. We are a mom and pop shop, just trying to survive.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make a little payment of $69 billion.
That's all we're trying to do.
Come on now. Okay, so again, at first glance, it is ludicrous. It's like I would love. It's not. If it was up to me, again, you're the CEO of Microsoft. It totally is up to you.
And for the past 9 years, there's been plenty of exclusives on Xbox. Yeah. So,
and not for you to define. Again, CEO, $2 trillion company. You could do both of those things. But Nadella is right here, right? Nadella's right in the sense of
Nadella with a D.
Sorry, Nadella. What did I say?
You said like you added a T instead of like Nutella, the spread.
Well, egg on my face.
Yeah.
Well, Nutella on my face. Nadella's right here though, because what he's saying is like, yeah, he did grow up in a Microsoft that, when he came into being the chair, the chairman of the board there, he did make a lot of strides into making Microsoft's in everything now, right? Like, let's ditch these phones. They're not working. Let's work with Apple. Let's work with Google. Let's put Word everywhere. Let's make it a subscription service, right? Like, they are very much working with everybody that they can. I think even they're working with Meta Quest as well, like on software on some like executive level suites of like, meeting and chatting with folks. So like, they do work with everybody. and I get what he's saying here, and I do agree with it. At the same exact time, you could just go ahead and, I mean, the rumor was, at least in the Xbox mills, of like there were prototypes of Halo working on PlayStation. Like you could do this if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't,
And PlayStation can do the same thing.
And PlayStation could do the same thing.
PS3 was weird.
So exclusives do matter if you're trying to sell a box. But my argument would be, if you're not trying to sell the box anymore, then why do you care where this thing's being sold?
Exactly. Which is why in the past few years, you're like, you believe it's not out of the realm of possibility of Game Pass showing up on a PlayStation.
I mean, right now,
my
utopian view has been
happen,
challenged. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. Why, if you're all in on the cloud, if you're all in on Game Pass, and hardware is taking a second step, why not have it everywhere?
Why not?
But
that, Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I lagged out a little bit.
I was going there somewhere, and my mouth was like, you know what? You've done enough talking right now, so you gotta shut down.
I'll take it right. It is thunder and lightning out here on the East Coast, so that's why I'm lagging a little bit. Anyway, Switter's B writes, my question today for the Sony Pony Express is not about the FTC and the possible acquisition, but did you know you can just listen/watch the court hearing through a Zoom call? Crazy world we live in. My take on the last few days of court is Jim Ryan gets a ton of grief, but seems to be a pretty decent human. Well, I don't know, man. I think he sacrificed a few people. You know what I mean? But he seems decent. I get what you're saying here. Like he seems like he didn't seem like the wacko, like crazy person that people often try to define him as, or some ruthless cutthroat. He just seemed like he was answering questions. And Bobby Kotick is a pure slimeball. Yeah, Bobby Kotick.
Yeah, there's no redeeming that man.
My question for the Pony Express today is about PS5 and Xbox lifetime hardware numbers so far and the impact of multi-platform titles not on Game Pass. At the end of May 2023, the PS5 is estimated to be at around 40 million. Right now, I think it's 38, right? And the Xbox Series X and S around 22 million. I will take your word for it because I don't know for sure. This is starting to be similar from the PS4 and Xbox One numbers on the hardware side of things. If Xbox does not grow its hardware install base, how big of an impact do you both feel this impacts PS5 and Xbox and the marketing deals PlayStation is able to make with games like Hogwarts Legacy, Star Wars, Jedi Survivor, and Street Fighter VI? I personally feel PlayStation on the hardware side being close to 2-1 is having a huge impact. And an example of this is using March 2023 UK monthly box chart numbers and digital 65% of Resident Evil 4 sales were on PlayStation platforms, 20% on Xbox, and 15% on PC. And I'm assuming not many of the 15% on PC are buying RE4 on Windows games. Oh, like the game marketplace. Okay, I got you. So, Kyle, I think this goes to show why Microsoft's making this deal. This is why they're spending close to $80 billion is... Yeah, it's really hard for Microsoft to say, hey, listen, we have half the install base of our competitor. Mm-hmm. Please make a marketing deal with us. It's really challenging. And it's much easier for PlayStation to go, hey, listen, look at the market that we'll advertise to, 40 million strong. Mm-hmm. Come with us. We will market your game as if it were an exclusive to ours rather than the former. Hey, we're 22 million, nothing to scoff at, but it's much smaller in base to get that advertising deal on, and then maybe maybe people watching that commercial may not think it's coming to their platform, which is important for if you're a multi-platform, gamer. So, yeah, that's it, Kyle. I want to know what you think of the impact. I'm sorry, of the fact of like
the hardware differences and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah. Sorry. I answered that question for us.
No, it's totally fine. And I don't have much more to add. It's just, that's why I feel still super important about hardware and pushing hardware and giving people a reason to play on your box. Game Pass is great. I do wish Sony had something similar. They're getting close. Close by maybe, I don't know, an inch when they have like millions of miles to go, but they're getting there. I don't know where I was going with that.
Don't worry. Again, I took the wind out of your sails there, bud.
It's fine.
Because usually you're reading to me and I answer first and then I throw it back to you. And I just,
whatever. I enjoy, the excitement of getting a hardware thing. Yeah. And like you said, it's hard to get people to go on the smaller install base, which is why I think when it comes to Xbox making those deals, it is for those smaller indie title things. At least for a time window, like Nobody Saves the World was there first, Rogue Legacy 2, Hades was there, like still stellar games, but they're on Xbox first, and I think that makes more sense for them. But if you're gonna go over to Capcom, like, yeah, give me RE4,
and they go,
market it with here, like, yeah, why?
Yeah. It's like, because we got, and their argument would be like, well, because I got this huge boatload of money. And they're like, okay, huge boatload of money is great, but like, what audience are you speaking to with us?
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally understand that, and again, that's why this acquisition makes so much sense if you're Microsoft, because that alleviates the pressure. All of a sudden, you now have Call of Duty to advertise for you, and as we've seen, Call of Duty makes tens of billions of dollars. So of course that's going to make a huge impact. And that's why Xbox kind of wants this. It's going to shift the tides, and they're going to now say, hey, listen, we have X amount of, millions upon millions of subs. Let's just say, we have 80 million subs on Game Pass now that Call of Duty's here, and magically the floodgates opened up, right? And now we have like World of Warcraft, all the things.
Yeah.
Now it becomes a way easier pitch of like, so now you kind of want to be on our side. Now you kind of want to shake hands with us, because now all of a sudden your game could be seen by way more people. And I think that's the end goal from Xbox.
Yeah,
for sure. All right, Kyle, it's time. That's it. That's all the courtroom drama. Okay, what time is that?
We're almost done with it, Joe.
Almost.
I feel like we're almost there, and then I can never have to stumble my way through talking all these higher end type of discussions.
That's right. We could get back in the mud.
Whew.
All right, time to go fast.
All right, go fast. Say goodbye, Imposter Syndrome.
You did great, bud.
I don't belong talking about that shit. But I did it. It's fine. All right, continue.
Guerrilla has added a Lance Reddick memorial to Horizon Forbidden West. This comes from their Twitter directly. In honor of Lance Reddick, we created a memorial to commemorate our profound impact he had on us all. Thank you, Lance, for everything you brought to the role of Silence, your gravitas, energy, wisdom, and more. An incomparable talent and friend. We miss you terribly. Bungie has also said that the last lines of Lance are in the latest Destiny update. Which is salute, sir.
Yeah.
Salute.
Rest in peace, Lance. We miss you.
All right. Here's some fun news, Kyle. You ready?
I'm ready.
We got the courtroom drama. We got the sadness. Now it comes to me getting excited.
Okay.
MGS4 coming BB soon.
Maybe.
This comes from the VGC over at Andy Robinson. They write, following the announcement, Twitter user Nintdroid found the Metal Gear Solid website had added buttons to its franchise timeline for games included in Volume 1, plus placeholder buttons for Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain, and Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker. The collection Volume 1 will release, now this is official, on Xbox Series X and S, PS5, PC, and Switch on October 24th. PC version, you can't have mouse and keyboard.
Which is wild.
Wild. But, Konami. The games include Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear 2, Solid Snake, Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty, Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, Metal Gear the NES/Famicom version, and Snake's Revenge. Also, IGN backed up the rumors and hearsay about Volume 2 adding Metal Gear Solid 4. So my question to you, Kyle, Metal Gear Solid 4 is coming. How hyped are you, dude? How hyped?
I don't know. Again,
like, what do you mean?
Well, we've talked about it. This is a series I don't have a lot of history with.
Right. But think about it.
I owned MGS4. I went through the 8-minute loading screen as it downloads with the cigarette. Just sneaks smoke in there. I watched my friend play a little bit of it, but I didn't play it myself.
Dang.
It's exciting that we're getting all Metal Gear in 2 volumes on current consoles. You know what I mean? So that is exciting as the preservation physical media person over here, being able to have those games available to play now instead of having to track down old copies and old systems and memory cards and whatnot. So it's exciting. This franchise, I think, has been gone for way too long, even though 5 is still recent, but it's cool. I'm excited to experience Kojima's early stuff. I think is where
that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to hear. Because the fact that now we get Metal Gear Solid 4 like on Xbox, theoretically on a Nintendo Switch, theoretically on PC, like that's a really wild concept.
4 on Xbox?
No. Guns of the Patriots? No, that's a PS3 exclusive, baby. So like, I know that there was an Xbox version that existed. I think that came out a few days ago, but it never saw market because PlayStation bought or made that deal, shook that hand.
Could have sworn that there was copies of that on the wall of GameStop.
I know.
It's fine.
But yeah, it's
cool.
It's awesome to see that. It's really awesome to see that game's going to be available to more people.
Yeah.
So.
But hey, September, October, stop it.
Honestly, this could have been an end of November.
You're giving me 4 days to beat Spider-Man 2? Are you kidding me?
Metal Gear's looking like it's going to be when we're on break. That's going to be our break game. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Red Dead Redemption Remaster is coming, maybe, also, sort of. All right, this comes from Rockstar's 13-year-old game was classified again this month by South Korean Game Rating and Administration Committee, which has a history of revealing upcoming titles to their official announcement. As spotted by Gamatsu, the new rating carries a classification number and refers to console games. Oh, thank God. God is good. God is great. I'm going to church again. Yeah.
Really?
Red Dead Redemption 1 is one of my favorite games of all time.
But what if it's from the same people that brought that GTA collection port over?
All right, suddenly you put fear in me.
That's what I mean. Like, it is exciting that, again, an older game is being made available to play on current stuff, but how much love, TLC, Tender Love and Care, is they're going to get?
Well, let's hope with the whole...
Let's hope. I hope so.
With that controversy, you would think they'd be like, all right, we cannot do that.
I mean, I'm very excited to actually, play this to completion.
Yeah. Fair enough. Bertos Maximus writes, hey guys, so with Red Dead 1 remake rumors, it brings back a lot of memories from playing that game and also means I have a solid reason of replaying Red Dead Redemption 2, by God. Do you think it will be a soft overhaul and touch-up on the graphics or a complete overhaul and improve on everything? Also, have you 100% Red Dead 2 and got the plat for it? As always, keep on bringing us the brilliant content and also... well done on your stellar interview with Ben Starr. Thank you. I might actually play Final Fantasy 16. Don't worry. We'll talk about it in a sec. Yeah. Have a good day and stay safe from your friend across the pond. Thank you, sir. No, I'm repeated on saying this. Red Dead 2 ain't my slice of pie. So I ain't got it platinumed. But Red Dead 1, again, one of my favorite games ever made. And it sucks because I loved the online portion of that game. Like, I spent thousands of hours on that game.
I remember you telling the stories of you playing online with that.
Yeah, I was literally like seventh in the world. Like it was no, sorry, I was playing with the seventh best person in the world. I was like 256 in the
Mm,
world
mm.
in Red Dead Online. I was
Sick.
good. You think I'm good at video games now? Oh wow, when I was just out of high school and jobless, let me tell you, unstoppable. Could have went pro.
I will say though, Bertos, expect a more remaster. Don't expect
Yeah,
the full remake to be an RDR2's level.
but I'd love it.
If it is, well done, Rockstar. But I expect another remaster similar to the GTA ones. Not as quality, but look wise. Like it'll look similar to how it did.
Yeah. And if Red Dead Redemption 2, if it gets the Red Dead Redemption 2 engine in it, I will take my top off.
There you go.
There you
Live right here on youtube.com
Live.
/PS Trophy Room.
Hashtag free the nip. The Green Gorilla Gamer writes, howdy, gents. Yeehaw! Red Dead Redemption is receiving a spotlight once again with new rumors of a remaster/remake, and they're getting my attention. But my question for you both is, do you think we need a remaster or remake, or could simple port to satisfy everyone? Of course, I, of course, would love to see a full-fledged remake of Red Dead Redemption and Undead Nightmare. Oh my God. But I would also just love to play the entire series on a modern console if that gets the Sony Pony Express a moving more like a pony and less like a jackass. What do you think? And that I ride off into the sunset, but not like Arthur Morgan, instead more like Caesar from Poda, just because the name. Yeah, well, anyways, hope you guys have a good weekend. Oh, thank you so
Likewise.
much. Okay.
Does it need a remaster or
Yes.
over than a port? Absolutely. I think it's old enough where it does need a little bit, again, some polish on it. Because looking back at it, like this nostalgic, where am I going with this?
Nostalgic feelings aside.
Yeah, no, just like the way we remember games, the nostalgia feeling of it is not how they really looked.
Right.
Like Final Fantasy VII to me back in the day was like groundbreaking, and nothing could look any better. The fact that
they got squares for hands.
The Cloud's forearm connects straight to his bicep, and there's no elbow, but just like a single pixel. Like, oh my God, that's hard to look at now. So I do think it needs a little bit of an update visually. I don't think it'll go over well if it's just a straight port.
Fair enough.
What do you think? Is that okay, port wise?
No, you could definitely remaster it and give it to us at a $40 range. If you completely like remade it, I don't know necessarily if because Red Dead 2, even like online, just they killed it off, though it sold gangbusters. Like it justifies it, but I don't know if it justifies it to some exec.
Yeah.
So yeah. That said, again, I would love a remaster, remake. I would love even like a port for Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last bit of Flash news. PlayStation Plus games for July is Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War on PS4, PS5, Alan Wake Remastered on PS4, PS5, and Endling Extinction is Forever on PS4, PS5. Kyle, what are your thoughts on this month?
I think it's a pretty solid month. I just think
it's really good.
I think it's wild during this whole courtroom thing that we have an Activision game and a Call of Duty game as part of the PS Plus game. I do really like that they're making the first Alan Wake, the remastered version, available in the lead up to Alan Wake 2. I feel like PlayStation does this pretty often. Maybe once a year or once every 2 years, where a big sequel is coming out, they'll give the first one out for people to catch up, kind of thing. I think that's awesome. And Endling is probably not your jam, Joe, because it's got like feelings and animals involved.
Oh yeah, if like Extinction, I see a group of foxes, right? I'm like, oh, it's about like animals dying. I don't want any part of it.
She has to make sure her pups are safe and
can't do it. Sorry,
it's pretty good, but it's emotional. But
can't do it. Won't allow it.
But this is a great lineup. This is I might actually download Cold War and play the story because I've been feeling the need to play a shooter. I know I say that all the time, and I never do it, but
Yeah.
this might be the one.
Alan Wake for sure. Alan Wake for sure. I think this is a great month for July. They didn't have to go this hard, but they did.
No.
All right, Kyle. Here's a ditty for you. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
What we've been playing, we're changing up just a little bit this week. All right, ready for this? Final Fantasy 16. This comes from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Final Fantasy 16 enjoys a strong 3 million unit sale launch, but not quite to match its predecessor. The figure of FF16 is roughly in line with a 7 Remake's launch, which managed around 3.5 million copies in 10 days. However, that was on PS4 and had a far larger install base than the PS5 does now. The last number of the numbered installment of Final Fantasy 15 remains the fastest selling entry with 5 million units shipped and sold digitally back in November 2016. However, that was across multiple platforms, and I would also like to put in here, it was far into that console's lifetime as well. Okay, Kyle. Good numbers for Final Fantasy 16. I actually think for 38 million units sold, 3 million in less than a week is actually really great. And just to take into consideration here too, Final Fantasy VII Remake, that had 100 plus million PS4s in the market at that point. That was the last year of the PlayStation 4's lifespan, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is actually doing really good. So a lot of people were trying over the weekend to kind of diminish this game's sales because of the box sales in the UK, which is, you can't.
No.
Come on. Digital has grown in such a high speed over the past 3-5 years. It's really, I don't think, a good barometer anymore to measure much of anything, but awesome launch. That said, Kyle, both you and I have played this game.
Yeah.
I want to go too crazy in depth into it, just our initial impressions. But I want to ask you, all right, is this a real Final Fantasy game? Because to me, I've been hearing people like, this abandoned its roots a bit. It's not turn-based. It's very light. Even I'll agree, very light on the RPG elements. When you've played this game, does it give you the feeling of like, oh, this could have been a spin-off, this could have been a versus, or does it very much, say, hey, this is justified. This is Final Fantasy 16, gosh darn it. You don't have to like that it's turn-based, but it still has the soul of what a mainline Final Fantasy game is. I ask you this because I genuinely don't know, as someone who isn't the biggest Final Fantasy fan.
This is unabashedly a Final Fantasy game.
I like it.
Everything about it outside of combat-wise is Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
The setting, the story, the grandiose icons and monster design, the spells, the equipment, the animals, everything about it is Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
To pigeonhole it, even though I love my turn-based RPGs and I love my turn-based Final Fantasy games, but just to pigeonhole a whole franchise into that one thing does it a disservice going forward for future installments. You have to grow with the times, and people turn-based is just not a thing a lot of people like to do anymore.
The majority.
It's too passive.
The people like dum-dums like me, yeah.
You want to be in the action at all times and whatnot. So to expect that it was just going to always be turn-based, I think is not the right headspace about it. Like 15 wasn't turn-based. That was very action-oriented.
That's what I was saying. Like I
Remake
remember the
is
bit
not.
Right. It's like you could slow down time for moves. I really do like that system.
Sure.
But like it's not turn-based to me.
No, so like Final Fantasy hasn't been turn-based for a while now.
Yeah.
15 came out 2016 maybe?
2016, 2017, somewhere around
so
there,
it's been like 6-7 years.
Yeah.
And before that was 13, and that was turn-based-ish, but it had some different things going for it.
It's been going this way for a while, is what you're saying.
It's been tilting this way for a while, and I think this one by far is leaning more into the action side of things, especially when you get the DMC stuff, combat person in on it. I mean, I've said it. I was a little hesitant on the combat wise, and it feeling different enough to me. But I mean, come on, this game is just.
So how are you feeling on it? You're a few hours in, right?
I'm a few
because you didn't get to play the demo. So
I chose not to because we were a week away. I was like, you know what, I'll just experience Joe.
Yeah.
Oh boy, to experience the things that everyone already did in the demo for the first time. I don't know how far the demo went. Like,
you got to the first twist.
Yeah, the title card.
Yeah,
is that how far the demo went?
Yep.
Okay, that title card goes real hard. That was my jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. Yeah. So to experience that and now playing a little bit beyond that, I'm so involved in this story. I'm so attached. I mean, now I can finally say it. Ben Starr, you're incredible, dude. Clive is awesome.
And here's the thing. So like the cast just crushes it.
Sid too? Oh my god. What a voice.
Sid's motivations. Yeah. Sid's motivations as a character.
It's great.
I'm like, yeah, like, oh my god, yeah. Like, I don't want to give a thing, but like, so good.
It's so good.
As a non-Final Fantasy guy, Kyle, I've been texting you on Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah,
what a game.
And I didn't want to respond. It wasn't that I was ignoring you. I knew you were ahead of me, and I didn't want to give you any leeway, give you a window to potentially spoil something. Not that I know you would do it, but
the first boss, like the first true boss you fight, feels like it feels so epic. It might as well be like, I'm like, this is like the last boss fight. You know what I mean? Like in any other video game, it's the first one.
That's the thing. Like, just so many normal enemies.
Yeah,
those battles are so epic.
Yeah,
like the Dragoon fight from the demo. That's just a normal dude, probably, in any other Final Fantasy. The goblin, big goblin dude. That's a throwaway battle, a random encounter. That's a big fight, super early on, and
absolutely
every battle has weight to it, which I love, and they give you time to experiment with the combat and the combos. And I'm already thinking about how am I upping those damage numbers? Am I throwing a little, not enough fire, right? I'm not using my magic enough. I'm just going physically with the sword. Like, it has me thinking of different ways to make the damage numbers go higher. It's great.
Yeah. I goddamn, I love this game. Like, I adore it. Like, I'm playing it and I'm like, I might just, Kyle, I know it sounds crazy. I might just go, I'm going to buy those pixel remasters, like collection. Like, that's just, it's so good.
I think the thing that makes me love the fact that you love it more, and I told you this, is you're not a big fantasy guy, right?
No, so the thing that I'm not a big like JRPG fantasy type of person.
Sure.
Right? Where it's like the power of friendship type of stuff. I don't necessarily gel with. I love like Tolkien, I jam with. You know, like Warcraft, I love. So like this game does speak to me more than an average or a modern Final Fantasy would be. Like, you know, I don't need to drive a Corvette with my bros and happen to have a sword.
Yeah.
And this very much ditches that. But to me, even as an outsider looking in, just the story elements, this is still a Final Fantasy game.
Oh, 1000.
It strikes at similar chords, but goes in different directions with it, and I really dig it. The combat is so, being able just to switch from different magic abilities on the fly adds an intricacy to combat that just feels so good when you're able to match up like air with fire, or earth with water, that type of stuff. It makes Clive such a like force to be reckoned with. It just feels good when you get a combo right. It feels so damn great. The only thing that I don't like, and I know it's in the system somewhere, but it's really getting at me, is blocking is R1 and targeting is L1.
The dodge.
The dodge is messing.
I keep
I'm
hitting
not good at the
circle, and
combat.
I'm like, oh god,
Keep on hitting circle.
I gotta see if I can change it. You probably can,
And
but
you can, but I feel like it's one of those mapping issues. I did it, and I forget why I didn't like it in the demo. But other than that, I am 12 plus hours in on this game, and I am adoring it.
Can we talk about something that this game does that I hope all future games do? That active time lore is such a game changer. Like, I hopped in today after I played last night, and just as a little refresher, just hold down the touchpad and brings up all the important people in the scene, what they're known for, what's happened during the story, the place that we're at, what the brand is on Clive's face and a lot of the other bearers' faces.
What are the branded or
just the fact that it's giving it all to you, and you can do that at any point if you're feeling lost, is such a game changer. It is so good. I hope all games take this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think future games, especially if you're this big, need to take note of. I just love this. I love this universe, and again, like the branded, their arc, like the lore behind them and Clive.
Yeah. Oh my god.
There are, I would say, Witcher-like elements in terms of like how that story plays that I just really, really dig. That said,
can I do one more thing about this game?
Oh, yeah, please go for it.
I think I've only experienced one. I think I'm right about the icon fights.
You are.
I don't know if I'm totally digging them. Again, I've only experienced the one. I know there's more coming, but I don't know.
No, I think you are right. I think that's going to be the major ding. Because it does feel like the one thing that I hear a lot of is like it's a lot of cutscenes, and you're right. I think
Death Stranding Final Fantasy is known for, though. So I'm used to it.
Oh, okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah. Because like for me, it's like Kojima has weathered me to this. I'm like, I could sit down for a good 5-10 minutes, watch something. As long as it's really compelling, I could sit here and
absolutely,
I could do that. And I wouldn't say there's been one that's like 10 minutes long, but like there's been one that's like 5 minutes, in length for sure.
But I'm like eating it up.
And because like it's a visual spectacle, so I'm in on it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah.
All right, Cloud Strife X24 writes, "Hey guys. Hope y'all are having a great week thus far. After playing Final Fantasy XVI for a week, which character do you believe goes through more trauma, Cloud or Clive? In other words, which character has more internal battles to deal with and struggles that they have to navigate through? I have not seen all of Cloud's story, but let me tell you, Clive."
As somebody that hasn't seen as much of Clive's story as you have, I do think Clive, what he goes through early on is pretty horrific.
Yeah.
And
also just shout out to Ben, because honestly, Clive's character is not one note. Like I could see that like when they were making his character, they definitely like modeled him to be Jon Snow-esque, but like he is very three-dimensional. And not like I feel like a lot of Final Fantasy characters, at least to me, again, outside looking in.
There are a lot of just brooding emo main characters.
Yeah, he's more than a brooding emo guy. Like he has so many layers to him.
Yeah,
fantastic work.
Yeah.
Red Arrow writes, "What's up? My favorite PlayStation bros. Now that you have played Final Fantasy 16, how would you rank the Final Fantasy games? 16, 7 Remake, 7 CC Reunion, 13, 15, 10, 10-2, etc. Which would you like to see this style of Final Fantasy, the action RPG, to continue forward in the series or turn back on its RPG style?" Kyle, you could take this one from me, buddy. I've only played and beaten 2.
I'm okay if this is action RPG is the thing going forward. But I would like, to switch it up every once in a while.
Sure.
Maybe an offshoot side, like a 10-2 or a 13, like Lightning Returns, whatever. It had be of this version be like, more turn-based stuff here and there. I don't want them to completely lose that. But I'm okay if they continue this way.
Yeah, I feel like they could embrace it in other ways. So make it so that I can
included, if like this action RPG style of 16 include the ability to play as the other party members, I think would be.
And trust me, there are some I want to play as.
Oh yeah, to to maybe that be the next step forward in this style of Final Fantasy, I think would be awesome.
Give me more items that I can min-max with.
Yeah. I think there's there's some things they can do. As far as ranking them, I don't know where to rank 16 yet, but I'll just do my top 5.
Okay, go for
it. 8, 9, 7, and 10 are all very close to each other. Okay. And then my 5th one, I haven't played all the Pixel ones. My 5th one might be 13. Again, I like the ones everyone else hates, but I really dig 13. But
honestly,
16,
I love
16's going up. It has a chance to make that top 5 for sure.
I dropped my pen. This is the worst thing to happen to me.
Oh no.
What else am I gonna fiddle with while we podcast?
And remakes up there too. I forgot.
So yeah, I can't wait to dive into all these games because I definitely feel like I will. At least the Pixel remasters really soon. Yeah. All right, Kyle, are you holding on to something?
No, I'm not, because you did the thing that you said you weren't going to do. I have other games I want to talk about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Just because we're going long.
So I'll keep it short. Steam Next Fest was the last few weeks. There are some games that I played that are also coming to PlayStation, so I'll talk about them here. All of these games I talk about will have Let's Plays on the 6-1 Indie YouTube channel, so here's a plug. Okay. I played that Christmas Carol Metroidvania, Ebenezer and the Invisible World. God damn it. It's beautiful. It's really, really cool. Though my biggest issue with it is Scrooge can only dash backwards. I can't dash forwards, and sometimes I dash backwards into enemies. It's not great. Sure. But it's beautiful. It's a lot of fun. Viewfinder? Oh my God.
Mind-bending.
It's mind-bending in the best ways. I can't believe that is a video game. It's very, very cool. I believe the demo of that game is still on the PlayStation Store. I know it was there for a little bit. So if you want a really cool, heady puzzle game where you are using paintings and photographs to take over space in the level and hop into those things to get to different goals, think of Superliminal or
that's a good callback.
Manifold Garden, I think, is another one that does that very well. And then the really big one that we're both very excited about. I told myself I was not going to play it, and I just couldn't. I could not do it. Right? Like, I played Sea of Stars demo. Joe, and everyone who's worried about not having a classic RPG game, get Sea of Stars on your radar. It is it is gorgeous. The Sabotage Studios, they made The Messenger, which is another great indie game. It is like Chrono Trigger in the way it looks. Combat wise, has some great active things you're doing, like mini games where you're not just selecting an attack and just watching it happen. There are some things where you have to time some attacks to continue the chain or whatnot. The only downside of it is, like, if a party member goes down, they just pop back up after a couple turns, and that's a little too forgiving for me. But man, that game's awesome, and I will be shocked if Sea of Stars is not in my top 5 of the year.
All right,
that's what I love to hear. Little bit. And if you're worried about being spoiled, they do a really funny thing where they're like, oh, let's skip ahead, and they speed through all the story beats, and like when you beat the boss, right after you beat it, it goes, all right, that's enough. Wait for the full game. So you get really no big major story spoilers, which I loved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Excellent. Also on Game Pass, I've been told to say that. And also on our Fantasy Critic League, which Sean Capri has claimed that he's abandoned. That's fine. Again, you don't want to play the game with your friend. I understand. We beat you that bad. I understand that. All right, Kyle. I'm gonna keep going. Just because he quits doesn't mean I stop. Yeah. You'll get to take your ball and leave and not hear me complain about it a little bit. Yeah. All right. Are you holding on to something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm holding on to a little resentment. No. And look at this Canadian Mountie pen.
Excuse me? What? Yeah, I got my Lego pen.
My parents brought this back when they visited Niagara Falls.
Ooh.
Yeah.
On the Canadian side, obviously, right?
That's right, eh? Prepare the drop. Here are the latest steals and deals. coming to the PlayStation storefront. Destroy All Humans 2, reprobed single player. All right, on PS4. Solvars on PS5, PS4. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life on PS5. June 28th, Revelry, Sweet as Edition on PS5. Russian Subway Dogs on PS4. On June 29th, AEW Fight Forever on PS5, PS4. Birdhouse Lane on PS5. Enclave HD on PS4. Noob, The Factionless on PS5, PS4. What's this one?
Xiatrice?
Xiatrice. Xicatrice.
There you go.
On PS4. Yeah. Someone wants to complain. What do you mean? This guy can't pronounce it. Oh. You know. June 30th. Front Mission First remake on PS5, PS4. Ghost Trick, Phantom Detective on PS4. Goodbye World on PS5, PS4. That sounds like a cry for help. Let's help those people out. Inner Ashes on PS5, PS4. And Spells and Secrets on PS5.
Really quickly, Russian Subway Dogs was a Vita game, and now it's coming to PS4. Great fun time. It's really, really fun.
All right. I believe you. Now comes to our favorite and the last segment of the night. We're going to cover half of these on the show and then the other half on the post show over on Patreon.
Why,
so
we're going long?
That out. Oh yeah, we're
not going that long.
We're going pretty damn long.
Right.
That's right. All right, it's time for the Sony Pony Express. That's right. Ghetto Barry writes in, good evening, chaps. Happy Pride Month. Hope you're both doing well. It's summer. You're having a barbecue, a picnic, something outdoorsy that brings the crowd for a special get-together. But this is PlayStation, of course. So who's coming over and what are they bringing? You could say that you got Ellie something around with a freshly caught rabbit, Clive Rosefield with some brewskis, or Crash Bandicoot with an irresistible 5-bean salad. What say you? As always, take care of yourselves and love what you do.
Thank you, Ghetto Barry.
Crash makes a mighty fine dip.
Mighty fine.
I love Ellie's like, I got rabbit, and she's like, roadkill.
I caught it.
I caught it while I got here.
Who do I want?
You could have brought some Bud Lights, bud.
Yeah,
but you chose the roadkill. Atreus and Kratos are bringing in elk, and they're skinning it in front. It's like, whoa, what?
They're bringing the pig and putting on the roast pit. Yeah, right. With the whole apple, they digging the hole. They're putting the coals in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fat Princess brought cake.
Oh yes,
you know?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
as a large and in charge individual, I say let's make it another Fat Princess. Those
are fun games.
Fun games.
I feel like Tifa might bring a dessert. I mean herself, but others,
Respectfully, Kyle. This is a family show.
Listen,
I dropped
you
two
don't need to
F-bombs
earlier. Yeah.
Spider-Man's bringing over some pizza from Manhattan.
He's going to that Italian restaurant that they go to in the first game and bringing something back.
Exactly. Yeah. Who else? Let me think of something.
What would Aloy bring? I thought like turkey legs, but like they're robots, right? They're not real.
I think she's bringing the barbecue, and like the barbecue's like a robot raptor head, you know? Yeah.
Oh, Aaron's the one bringing the beer.
Ooh,
right? He's the party man. He's bringing all the alcohol and the drinks and whatnot.
What's Ratchet bringing?
A vending machine.
What about Jack and Daxter, you think? Spyro's bringing over lamb.
Yeah, roasted. Yep.
Roasted.
I feel like Jack and Daxter might be bringing the magic lettuce, if you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I feel like that's probably what they're bringing.
Jack's behind like the garage. He's like, "Hey man, you want to smoke a spliff? Get this party real started."
I feel it's more Daxter than Jack, but
No, because they're really giving me like Jay and Silent Bob vibes. Like nobody really wants to be around them. They just reek of weed.
I could totally see Jack posted up like Solid Bob on the back of the building.
Yeah, Jack, where's my hands? Oh God, yeah, like he's just walking up to Aloy. You ever think about the cosmos? Who the f- is this guy? I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Oh God. All right, last one. Last one. Infamous.
What's Cole bringing?
What's Cole bringing?
Oh yeah, Cole or Delson. Which one?
If
it's Delson, he's bringing sushi, right? Because Seattle's a seafood place.
Seattle. What a good one. That's a good one.
Cole is what was the city in the first one? Liberty City.
Yeah, but like, let's go. Like, let's do Louisiana, right?
Louisiana.
He's in the bayou.
Yeah, some beignets.
He would bring some po' boys.
Po' boys.
Like they're and like he'd be like, "Hey, Delson, you get the fish and the chips, and I get the po' boys.
Right.
Get the shrimp."
That works.
We're making a pretty kick-ass barbecue. It's pretty lively over here.
You all are all invited, by the way.
Yep. Yeah. Except for Jack and Daxter. They'll just find a way.
And don't talk to Cloud. Cloud,
no,
he might chop you into.
Yeah, he's the one listening to 9 Inch Nails right now.
1000%.
You know what? They're a good band. Goddamn it! All right, Maximum Carnage writes in. Greetings, Reno and Rude.
Do you know who they are?
I don't know. No.
They're from Final Fantasy VII. You should for a remake. Rude is the bald dude, and Reno is the one with the red hair, I think, if I remember correctly.
You think I remember names? It's cute. Recently, PlayStation has... I don't even know who I am. PlayStation has been celebrating its 1-year anniversary with PlayStation Plus tiers. Congratulations. But I got a bone to pick. Since the service relaunched last year, the premium tier would provide classic games for PS1, 2, 3, and PSP games. We all know that PS3 streaming is a problem, but I need to remind people that Sony PlayStation hasn't added any PS2 titles to the library since relaunch, and the only a select few have been present since PlayStation Now. I hear there are emulation problems with PS2 titles on PS5, but as a piece of shite customer that has no idea how things work, surely getting PS2 games running better on PS5 seems like a smaller and easier task than solving the enigma that is being able to download PS3 games. The premium service has slowly been taking steps in the right direction over the recent months. However, I feel Sony could be offering one more classic title each month, as the price difference between extra and premium is a little steep for what you get. Adding some fresh PS2 titles to the service would at a constant pace could really make the premium service more attractive. Curious to hear your thoughts. Yeah, dude, put the first Killzone on there.
Yeah.
How OP would it be to add like Onimusha there and it has trophy support? Right? Like, get the bouncer on there. What's stopping you?
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. I dropped 2 ditties out there. Yeah.
That'd be dope. They did do on PS4. They had PS2 games you could just straight out buy, PS2 classics, and I feel like they had a lot more of a selection than we have in this classics offering in the new PS Plus. I do wish they were a little bit more consistent, and I do want them to be more recognizable IP or games. Like,
how many siphon filters are you gonna port over? You know,
well, I think they're all there now.
Oh, they're all there.
I think so.
All right,
but yeah, I would like a more wide variety, because the PlayStation library is huge, and there's a lot of really good things in there. Like, more Legend of Dragoon like drops. You know what I mean? Like
Sure.
big things that people are asking for.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. And again, it didn't come to mind till right now. And I think that's just because we've been playing. It's this game after game, guys.
Oh yeah, this year's been nonstop.
It's been hard to keep up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I've been able to.
Yeah.
That said, Una writes in and they ask, "Hey guys, hope you're both doing well. Before I get to my question for the week, I want to say Torgal is the best dog.
Yep.
And if any slander falls behind him, let's just say hands will fly."
I saw a stat saying only like 20% have pet Torgal. What are y'all doing?
We need to get that number up.
You pet Torgal. You get that trophy.
He's a good little boy.
Yeah.
He's a good little man. He's a little baby. I love him. He's a good boy. As for my question this week, what are your thoughts on the dialogue for games that has been the what's that word?
That has to be initiated.
Oh, it has to be initiated by the player, and have been. Sorry, I've been playing GTA 4 and have been doing the hangouts with friends due to them being required for the 100%. And I think to myself, a lot of this dialogue is very good. I wish that it was included in the main game, but I understand why it was included the way it is, because it gives the player the intuition to it. But as that, I throw the ball over to you guys. What do you guys think of the player dialogue that has to be initiated? Oh my goodness, words are hard for me tonight.
I do wish a lot of the story and conversations just happen, and it's not up to me to go up and talk to this character to start a very cool combo, a very meaningful one. I do wish a little more of those were more digestible.
Sure.
Just easier for me to sit back and watch them, talk about it, and not me, 10 hours later realizing, oh, I missed this really cool conversation with the character I really loved because I didn't go up to him and talk because I was so focused on getting back out there and battling, Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm a little bit of a creep.
Oh boy.
I'm a little bit of a goddamn deviant. That's right. I'm a weirdo. I look at
what the hell am I doing here?
To try to romance Judy. Guys, if there's a romanceable option, let's just say if I find out there's a character down, I'm going to find that walkthrough so that we get to bone zone. All right? I'm not messing this up. So when it came to Judy in Cyberpunk, you're goddamn right. I dropped everything that I did. And IGN, you're no better than me because you taught me how to do it. This is on you as well as me to romance Judy. Are you telling me that I haven't looked up how to romance Miranda from Mass Effect 2 or Liara from Mass Effect 1? Are you kidding me? Yeah, duh.
Or Jack?
Or Jack?
Tali?
Oh my God. Tali, I definitely did.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
In fact, that whole cast, we are just in one out.
Absolutely.
We are just me and Garrus.
That's the picnic I want to go to.
Exactly.
Bodies
of Wonderland was written after Garrus. It wasn't Anne Hathaway. No, that's what he says. It is Garrus. So yeah. When it comes to that stuff, I'm a real sicko. Yeah, because I want to just make sure that my character has the best gal,
or guy, or whatever partner.
Well, have I romanced a dude?
You just said Garrus. Oh, were you femshep?
Yeah, I was femshep.
Ah, okay.
But in my mind's eye, I was femshep in that moment. It was playful. Fair. Have I playfully flirted?
Of course. Cloud on that dress? Come on, where's that option?
I mean, oh God. Press X pronto. Oh my God. Oh, absolutely. Sure. Did I think about River in Cyberpunk and what our life would be together and what our family would look like? Yeah. Okay. Who hasn't? Who hasn't?
I feel like you have so many folders on your computer.
Who hasn't banged River in Cyberpunk 2077? Just because he's a really good dude. He's a family guy. He cares for his nieces, his nephews. He's a good cop in a lousy world. He's trying to do right by the city and the people that he serves. So why not?
I feel like I'm gonna continue my joke.
Yeah, I've had sex with Rivers.
I feel like you have folders, so many folders on your computer that you've
Right.
gone out to artists on Twitter and everywhere to be like, listen, draw what a family of me and Liara would look like. you know, me and Jill from RE. You know, like what would that family look like?
What beautiful biracial angels they would be.
Me and
Jill?
Ada? Come on, how many kids we having, and what do they look like? I feel like you have folders upon folders of that stuff.
Listen, respectfully, Ada Wong is it. Respectfully.
Sure.
And also, why am I forgetting his name from Resident Evil 4?
Leon?
Why Leon? Leon could get it too, dude. You know, here's a question for next week's show. Anybody who wants to be a real sicko, just ask the question and I'll answer it. What's a video game couple you'd like to watch? That's Leon and Ada. You know.
Okay.
All right, so that's why we don't get ads on the show. Everybody, that's been the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. Kyle Stevenson, is there anything you'd like to spotlight before we get on out of here?
Mr. K set pretty much everywhere, and go check out 61indie.com and on youtube.com/@61indie. Like I mentioned, those demos, I have my Let's Plays going up over there. As well as this week's IndieCast will be our part 2 of Steam Next Fest talk. So if you want to learn about really cool demos that the crew played from Steam Next Fest, you know, give it a listen and let us know if any, you know, tickle your fancy.
And you can find me over at Mr. Badbit. You can find the show over at PS Trophy Room. This week over on Season Gaming, we will have a cast co-op where probably Luke and Ains and I will talk about the same things here, but in typical cash co-op chaotic fashion. So I can't wait to do that with them again over at Seasoned Gaming on YouTube Thursday at, I believe, 8:30 EST time. But Ains would say 7:30 CST time. And I'm like, nobody lives in CST time. Get that out of here. Go. Skedaddle, you know? You can find the show wherever you get your podcast service of choice, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or you can catch the video version live over on youtube.com/@PS Trophy Room at 8 p.m. EST each and every Wednesday night. So with all that said, with all that out of the way, everybody keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.
#House of Bangers. I love you.
Real son of a gun.
We're off.